Within the vast treasury of spiritual law lies a secret so profound yet so elegantly simple that it has the power to transform your entire financial reality in an instant. This secret is not found in complex investment strategies, elaborate business plans, or years of financial education, though these have their rightful place in the material world. Rather, it exists in the realm of pure consciousness, where thought becomes thing, where word becomes world, and where a simple pair of syllables can flip your money energy from resistance to receptivity as surely as flipping a switch transforms darkness into light. The concept of activation formulas is not new to those who understand the deeper workings of universal law. Throughout the ages, mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers have recognized that certain combinations of words carry extraordinary power to reshape reality itself. These are not mere sounds strung together by chance, but carefully chosen vibrations that align with the fundamental frequencies of creation. What makes this particular two-word activation formula so remarkable is its laser-like specificity to the realm of financial abundance and its immediate, measurable impact on the energetic field that surrounds and emanates from your being. To comprehend how such a simple formula can create such profound transformation, we must first understand the true nature of consciousness itself. Your consciousness operates much like a sophisticated radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting signals into the invisible realm where all manifestation begins. These signals, composed of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, expectations, and spoken words, create a unique energetic signature that the universe reads with perfect accuracy. Like attracts like in this cosmic dance of creation, and whatever frequency you consistently broadcast becomes the blueprint for your external experience. When it comes to money, most people unknowingly broadcast signals of lack, fear, unworthiness, struggle, or desperate need. They approach their finances with clenched fists and worried hearts, speaking of money with anxiety, relating to it through fear, and treating it as a scarce commodity that must be wrestled from an unwilling world. This creates what can only be described as an energetic dam, blocking the natural flow of abundance that is always seeking to reach them. The universe, responding with mathematical precision to these signals of resistance, delivers more experiences that match the frequency of struggle and limitation. The two-word activation formula works by instantly recalibrating this broadcast frequency. When spoken with conscious intention and genuine understanding, these words act as a master key, unlocking doors in consciousness that have perhaps remained closed for years or even decades. This is not a gradual process that requires weeks or months to show results. Rather, it is an immediate energetic shift that begins working the moment you align your consciousness with its power. The transformation occurs at what quantum physicists call the field level, where consciousness itself influences the collapse of infinite possibility into specific reality. The first word of this sacred formula addresses the fundamental nature of abundance itself. It dissolves the illusion of scarcity by aligning your consciousness with the truth that prosperity is not a static condition, but a dynamic, ever-moving force. This word acknowledges that money, like all forms of divine substance, operates according to the law of circulation. Just as your lungs must exhale to inhale, just as the ocean tides must ebb to flow, just as your heart must relax to fill with fresh blood, money must move to multiply. When you speak this first word with conviction, you are declaring your recognition of the infinite nature of supply. Your subconscious mind, which may have been programmed for generations with beliefs about limitation and shortage, receives new instructions. It begins to scan for evidence of abundance rather than lack, to notice opportunities rather than obstacles, to expect flow rather than stagnation. The second word of the formula addresses your role in the abundance equation with surgical precision. It removes the ego's desperate need to control, possess, and hoard, transforming you from a fearful accumulator into a confident steward of prosperity. This word embodies the profound spiritual truth that you are not meant to be a stagnant pool where money collects and grows stagnant, but rather a clear, flowing channel through which divine abundance can move with increasing velocity and volume. When you truly understand and embody this second word, you release the energetic grip that actually repels money. You stop approaching abundance from a place of desperation and begin operating from a place of trust, knowing, and serene expectation. Together, these two words create what can only be described as an energetic portal, a doorway through which your old relationship with money exits and your new relationship enters. The transformation is not merely psychological, but occurs at the deepest levels of your being. Your cellular memory begins to release stored patterns of financial struggle that may have been inherited from ancestors who lived through economic hardships. Your emotional body starts to vibrate at the frequency of prosperity, naturally attracting people, circumstances, and opportunities that resonate with this elevated state. Your mental body aligns with thoughts and ideas that support abundance, while your spiritual body recognizes its divine right to unlimited supply. The activation process involves several layers of transformation occurring simultaneously, like a symphony with multiple instruments playing in perfect harmony. On the conscious level, you are making a deliberate choice to align with abundance. Your thinking mind begins to generate new thoughts, perceive new possibilities, and recognize financial opportunities that were previously invisible to your awareness. On the subconscious level, deeply embedded programs of limitation begin to dissolve like salt in water. Beliefs inherited from family, society, and past experiences start to lose their grip on your reality, making space for new, empowering truths to take root. On the superconscious level, you are tapping into the infinite intelligence that governs all manifestation, aligning your personal will with the cosmic will for your prosperity. What makes this formula particularly powerful is its elegant simplicity. Complex affirmations and lengthy visualizations, while valuable in their own right, can sometimes engage the analytical mind in ways that actually interfere with manifestation. The thinking mind wants to understand, analyze, and figure out exactly how abundance will arrive, often creating mental interference that blocks the very flow it seeks to encourage. The two-word formula bypasses this mental chatter entirely, speaking directly to the deeper levels of consciousness where real change occurs. It is brief enough to remember in any situation, simple enough to repeat throughout the day, and powerful enough to create immediate shifts in your energetic field. Many people who first encounter this formula experience what can only be described as a recognition rather than a learning. Something deep within their soul remembers this truth, as if they are recalling knowledge they once possessed but had temporarily forgotten. This recognition is a clear sign that the formula is activating dormant aspects of their consciousness, awakening abilities and awarenesses that have always been present, but were covered over by layers of conditioning and false belief. The feeling is similar to suddenly remembering where you placed something valuable that you thought was lost forever. Consider the transformation from resistance to receptivity that occurs when you truly embrace this activation. Most people resist money unconsciously through their thoughts, words, and emotions, even while consciously desiring it with every fiber of their being. They speak of money with anxiety, approach financial decisions with desperation, and relate to prosperity through the lens of fear and unworthiness. This creates an energetic field of resistance that acts like a powerful magnet in reverse, pushing away the very abundance they seek to attract. The two-word activation formula dissolves this resistance by shifting your fundamental orientation toward prosperity, from grasping to allowing, from demanding to receiving, from struggling to flowing. Picture, if you will, money as a magnificent, life-giving river that flows continuously through the landscape of human experience. Most people stand on the banks of this river, parched with thirst, yet they unknowingly block its path to them with debris of their own making. Their doubts, anxieties, inherited beliefs about scarcity, and fearful thoughts create an energetic dam that prevents the natural flow from reaching them. They may dig small, shallow ditches in the riverbank, hoping to collect a trickle of prosperity when the grand, majestic flow is ever present, waiting to be unleashed into their lives. The secret is not to struggle harder against the current or to construct more elaborate collection systems, but to clear the internal obstructions and align oneself with the natural, abundant movement of this divine energy. The spoken word carries tremendous creative power when aligned with spiritual law and conscious intention. These two syllables, when uttered as a decree rather than a wish, become levers that move the invisible machinery of manifestation. A decree does not beg or plead, it blesses and commands with quiet authority. It does not rush or strain, it rests confidently in universal law. When you speak this formula as a decree, you are not asking the universe for money. You are announcing your readiness to receive it, your willingness to steward it wisely, and your recognition of your divine right to prosper. The formula also corrects a fundamental error in how most people approach financial security. Many treat money as a dam against fear, building walls of accumulated wealth to protect themselves from imagined future lack. While saving and wise financial planning have their place, a life built entirely on dams becomes a life of constant maintenance and vigilance. There is a higher architecture available to you: the aqueduct. An aqueduct receives from the source and delivers to where it is needed, standing both safe and useful, fortified yet generous, stable yet fluid. The two-word activation formula transforms you into such a structure, creating a life where abundance flows through you, to bless not only your own experience, but the lives of others as well. As you begin to work with this formula, you may notice that your entire relationship with money undergoes a profound metamorphosis. Transactions that once felt heavy, stressful, or emotionally charged begin to feel light, natural, and even joyful. Financial decisions that previously created anxiety now unfold with clarity and ease. Opportunities that were invisible to your former consciousness begin to appear in your awareness with increasing frequency. People and circumstances align to support your prosperity in ways that seem magical but are actually the natural result of your newly aligned energy field, broadcasting its clear signal of receptivity and trust. The universe responds to this new energetic signature by orchestrating a symphony of supportive events, inspired ideas, unexpected opportunities, and beneficial connections. Your aligned consciousness becomes a magnet for prosperity, drawing to you not through force or manipulation, but through the natural law of attraction operating at its highest level. This is the true power of the two-word activation formula. It transforms you into a living demonstration of abundance, consciousness, a walking testament to the truth that prosperity is not something you chase, but something you allow, not something you earn through struggle, but something you receive through alignment with the infinite generosity of the universe itself. The moment you truly comprehend that money is not what it appears to be in the material world, your entire financial reality begins its transformation. What most people perceive as mere paper, metal coins, or digital numbers represents something infinitely more profound and powerful. Money, in its truest essence, is divine energy that has temporarily clothed itself in material form. It is spiritual substance made visible, cosmic force expressing itself through the channels of human experience, universal intelligence manifesting as the medium of exchange that facilitates the flow of value throughout the world. This revelation completely revolutionizes your approach to prosperity because it shifts your focus from the external manipulation of circumstances to the internal alignment of consciousness. When you recognize money as divine energy, you understand that it operates according to spiritual law rather than being subject only to economic theories, market conditions, or material limitations. While these external factors certainly exist and play their role in the physical realm, they are secondary causes, shadows cast by the primary cause, which is consciousness itself. Divine energy possesses characteristics that distinguish it from ordinary material substance. It is infinite by nature, never diminished by use, never exhausted by circulation, never limited by external conditions. This energy is intelligent, responding immediately and precisely to the quality of consciousness through which it is perceived and directed. It is creative, always seeking new channels for expression and expansion. Most importantly, it is motion itself, dynamic, flowing, circulating force that becomes stagnant and loses its vitality when attempts are made to dam or hoard it. Your consciousness serves as the command center for this divine energy in your life. Consciousness encompasses far more than your surface thoughts, though thoughts are certainly important. It includes your deep-seated beliefs about money, your emotional responses to financial situations, your subconscious programming inherited from family and society, your spiritual understanding of abundance, and the overall vibrational frequency you emit regarding prosperity. This consciousness acts like a sophisticated broadcasting system, constantly transmitting signals into the invisible realm where all manifestation begins. Picture your consciousness as a radio transmitter, sending out specific frequencies into the cosmic ether. The universe, operating with perfect precision, reads these signals and responds by delivering experiences that match your dominant broadcast frequency. If your consciousness consistently transmits signals of lack, fear, struggle, or unworthiness around money, the divine energy receives these instructions and creates circumstances that mirror these beliefs. Conversely, when your consciousness broadcasts frequencies of abundance, trust, gratitude, and expectant faith, the same energy responds by orchestrating experiences of prosperity and flow. The motion aspect of divine energy reveals why circulation is absolutely essential for sustained prosperity. Energy, by its fundamental nature, must move to maintain its life force and creative power. When money becomes trapped in patterns of fearful hoarding, anxious accumulation, or energetic blockage, it loses its divine vitality and its capacity to multiply. This explains why misers, despite their accumulated wealth, often experience poverty of spirit, health, and relationships. They have violated the sacred law of circulation that governs all divine substance. Think of yourself not as a reservoir where money should collect and remain, but as a riverbank through which the mighty current of abundance flows. A riverbank does not own the water that passes by, yet it is constantly nourished, enriched, and made fertile by that flowing stream. The more open and clear the channel, the more abundant the flow becomes. When you position yourself as a willing conduit for this divine energy, you align with its essential nature and allow it to increase exponentially as it moves through your experience. Understanding the vibrational mechanics of money as divine energy illuminates why your mental and emotional states have such profound impact on your financial reality. This energy is exquisitely sensitive to the frequencies of consciousness, immediately reflecting back the quality of awareness through which it is approached. When you handle money with reverence, gratitude, and joyful expectation, you create an energetic environment that is highly magnetic to continued flow. When you relate to money through anxiety, desperation, resentment, or unworthiness, you generate what can only be described as energetic static that interferes with clear reception and smooth circulation. Many people unknowingly repel the very prosperity they desire through their unconscious emotional responses to money. They feel guilty when they have it, anxious when they spend it, resentful when they must pay bills, and desperate when they need more. Each of these emotional reactions creates energetic turbulence that disrupts the natural flow of divine energy through their lives. The universe, responding with mathematical precision to these mixed signals, delivers experiences that match the dominant frequency of resistance rather than the conscious desire for abundance. Your subconscious mind plays a crucial role in determining your vibrational relationship with money as divine energy. This deeper level of consciousness operates like fertile soil, accepting and growing whatever seeds are planted within it, whether those seeds represent abundance or limitation. If your subconscious has been programmed with beliefs such as, money is hard to come by, money is the root of evil, we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy, these deeply embedded patterns create invisible barriers that deflect the flow of prosperity away from your experience. The process of reprogramming your subconscious requires conscious, consistent effort to uproot these limiting beliefs and replace them with truth-based understanding. You must become like a gardener, carefully removing the weeds of scarcity consciousness and planting new seeds of abundance awareness. Affirmations such as, money is divine energy flowing easily through my life. I am a worthy channel for unlimited prosperity, and divine substance provides all my needs abundantly, begin to transform the soil of your deeper mind when repeated with conviction and feeling. Developing energetic sensitivity to the flow of money as divine energy becomes essential for sustained prosperity. This involves cultivating awareness of the subtle currents that surround financial opportunities, relationships, and decisions. You begin to sense when these currents feel clear, strong, and life-giving versus when they feel blocked, forced, or depleted. This sensitivity allows you to recognize opportunities that align with divine flow and to avoid situations that carry frequencies of struggle, manipulation, or harm. This energetic awareness extends to every aspect of your financial life. You learn to feel the difference between money that comes through channels of genuine service and blessing versus money that arrives through fear-based or unethical means. You develop the ability to sense when your spending is in harmony with divine flow, CHT, characterized by gratitude, joy, and conscious appreciation, versus when it stems from compulsive, resentful, or desperate energy that creates energetic debt, requiring eventual rebalancing. When you truly understand money as divine energy in motion, every financial transaction becomes a sacred exchange rather than a mundane material trade. Paying a bill transforms from a loss into a circulation of blessing, an opportunity to send divine energy on its journey to serve others while creating space for fresh flow to enter your life. Receiving payment becomes not a grasping at limited resources, but a gracious acceptance of divine energy flowing through you in recognition of the value you have contributed to the universal circulation. The law of circulation operates with unwavering precision in the realm of divine energy. What flows out, with right consciousness and generous spirit returns multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over through channels both expected and unexpected. This is not wishful thinking but spiritual mathematics in operation. The universe keeps perfect accounts, and every act of conscious giving creates a corresponding credit in the invisible ledger of divine supply. Release becomes as sacred as receipt when you understand this principle. A clenched fist cannot receive a gift, and a consciousness that grips money in fear cannot allow the full flow of abundance. When financial obligations arise, your first response becomes gratitude rather than resentment. I am able to pay this. This is evidence of the abundant life I enjoy. When you bless the money as it leaves your hands, you maintain its divine quality and ensure its eventual return multiplied. Gratitude serves as a powerful amplifier for money as divine energy. This is not mere positive thinking but recognition of a fundamental truth. Gratitude changes the measurer within you, and when the internal measuring device changes, the external measure must change accordingly. When you genuinely appreciate the money you have, regardless of the amount, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of abundance. The universe, reading this signal of appreciation, responds by providing more reasons for gratitude. The prestination, practice of blessing your financial environment, creates an energetic field that attracts continued prosperity. Organize your financial papers. Clear space in your calendar for inspired opportunities. Release possessions that no longer serve your highest good. This physical organization reflects and reinforces internal alignment with divine order. Chaos repels supply because it signals confusion of purpose, while order magnetizes abundance because it declares readiness to steward greater flow. Service provides the royal pathway for divine energy to express as money in your life. When you ask each day, "How may I be of greater service? How can my unique gifts contribute more value to the world?" you align yourself with the fundamental law of blessing. Money flows most abundantly toward usefulness, toward those who have made themselves valuable channels for divine expression. This is not about strain or struggle, but about joyful alignment with your highest purpose under the guidance of infinite intelligence. Above all, remember that divine energy delights in recognition and reverence. When you acknowledge its presence in small ways, a found coin, an unexpected discount, a swift solution to a financial challenge, you ring bells in the invisible realm that attract greater recognition. You begin to see the world as an abundant garden rather than a barren desert, as a flowing river rather than a stagnant pond, as a realm of infinite possibility rather than limited resources. Your spoken word carries tremendous creative power when aligned with the understanding of money as divine energy. Every declaration you make about your financial reality becomes a command to the universal forces of manifestation. When you speak of money with reverence and expectation, declaring, "Divine energy flows through my life as abundant supply," you are not begging or pleading, but announcing your recognition of spiritual law and your readiness to receive its demonstration. The transformation from seeing money as material substance to recognizing it as divine energy in motion represents one of the most profound shifts possible in human consciousness. It moves you from the realm of limitation into the sphere of infinite possibility, from the experience of struggle into the flow of grace, from the consciousness of lack into the awareness of boundless supply. This shift does not happen overnight, but with consistent practice and unwavering faith in the truth of your divine nature, it becomes the foundation for a life of sustained, joyful prosperity that blesses not only your own experience, but radiates out to touch every life you encounter. There exists a profound distinction between the idle chatter that fills most human conversation and the conscious declaration that carries within it the very power of creation itself. Your spoken word is not merely a tool for communication, but a divine instrument of manifestation, a direct channel through which your consciousness commands universal substance to take specific form in your experience. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that every utterance from your lips is either building or destroying, creating or dissolving, magnetizing abundance, or repelling it with equal precision and immediacy. The moment you speak with conscious intention, aligned with spiritual law and backed by unwavering conviction, you are engaging in an act of creation that mirrors the fundamental creative principle of the universe itself. Your word becomes a living force that penetrates the invisible realm where all manifestation begins, setting into motion a chain of causation that must eventually express itself in your physical reality. This is not metaphorical language, but literal spiritual mechanics operating according to laws as precise and reliable as any principle of physics or mathematics. Most people unknowingly use this tremendous creative power to perpetuate the very financial limitations they consciously desire to overcome. They speak of money with anxiety and dread, declaring their bills are overwhelming them, their expenses are impossible to meet, or their financial situation is hopeless beyond repair. Each such declaration becomes a command issued to the universal forces of supply, instructing them with perfect clarity to create more experiences of struggle, lack, and financial difficulty. The universe, operating with mathematical precision and without judgment, responds by orchestrating circumstances that perfectly match these spoken instructions. Understanding the spiritual mechanics underlying conscious declaration reveals why certain phrases act as keys that unlock specific chambers of abundance within your experience. When you speak with conscious awareness of spiritual law, your words carry a vibrational frequency that resonates through multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. These vibrations penetrate your subconscious mind, which accepts whatever is impressed upon it with sufficient feeling and repetition, and simultaneously reach the superconscious realm, where infinite intelligence orchestrates all manifestation according to the patterns you establish through your spoken word. The fundamental difference between a wish and a declaration lies in the quality of consciousness from which each emerges. A wish often carries undertones of uncertainty, longing, and doubt, implying that the desired outcome exists somewhere outside your current reality and may or may not eventually manifest. A declaration, by contrast, emerges from spiritual authority and recognition of your divine nature, stating with quiet certainty what is already established in the realm of absolute truth, regardless of current appearances in the physical world. When you declare rather than wish, you shift from passive hoping to active co-creation, transforming your entire energetic relationship with the object of your desire. The three essential principles that govern effective declaration work together to create an irresistible force for manifestation. The first principle is alignment, requiring that your consciousness be harmonized with the truth you are declaring, rather than contradicted by anxiety, doubt, or resentment. Before speaking your word of abundance, you must still yourself, lift your attention above appearances, and remember that divine supply is unlimited, immediate, and personally available to you by right of consciousness. From this aligned state, your declaration carries the authority of spiritual law rather than the pleading quality of desperate need. The second principle involves present tense assurance, recognizing that your good exists in the eternal now rather than in some distant future that never arrives. Effective declarations avoid future tense constructions that postpone manifestation indefinitely, instead speaking as one already in possession of the desired condition. When you declare, "Divine abundance flows through my life now," or "Perfect financial opportunities present themselves to me now," you are collapsing the illusion of time that separates desire from fulfillment, commanding immediate alignment between your consciousness and your experience. The third principle requires absolute purity in your spoken word, maintaining consistency between your declarations and all other speech throughout your day. Every contradiction you speak after making a powerful affirmation plants seeds of confusion in your consciousness, creating mixed signals that produce mixed results. If you declare abundance in the morning but speak of being broke in the afternoon, you have sown wheat and weeds in the same field, guaranteeing a harvest that reflects this internal contradiction. Guarding your speech like a treasure vault becomes essential for maintaining the clear energetic signal that produces clear manifestation. The rhythm of effective declaration follows a precise pattern that maximizes its creative impact. First comes denial, which does not fight against appearances, but simply withdraws belief and attention from limiting conditions. When faced with financial challenge, you might declare, "This apparent lack has no power over my supply." Divine order dissolves all limitation now. This denial breaks the hypnotic hold of visible circumstances, creating space for truth to establish itself. Next comes affirmation, which installs the desired condition in the vacuum created by denial. I am one with infinite abundance. Money flows to me through expected and unexpected channels. Finally comes release, which places the entire matter in the hands of infinite intelligence. I cast this burden on the divine within me and go free to receive my perfect demonstration. Feeling serves as the fuel that ignites your declarations and transforms them from mere words into living forces of creation. A cold, mechanical repetition of even the most perfectly worded affirmation carries little creative current, while a warm declaration, illuminated by gratitude and quiet certainty, moves mountains of limitation without strain or effort. Your task is not to force results through mental effort, but to feel the reality of what you declare to such a degree that the outer world must rearrange itself to mirror your inner knowing. Gratitude provides the easiest pathway to this essential feeling state, allowing you to give thanks for your abundance before it appears in physical form, thereby creating the internal condition that magnetizes its swift manifestation. Imagery works in partnership with your spoken word to accelerate the manifestation process by providing your subconscious mind with clear pictures that match your verbal declarations. As you speak your word of financial freedom, you simultaneously see doors of opportunity swinging open before you, golden light illuminating new pathways for income, or abundant supply flowing like a river through every area of your life. The subconscious mind, which thinks primarily in images rather than abstract concepts, responds more readily to this combination of word and picture, translating your declarations into the specific mental patterns that attract corresponding physical experiences. The most powerful declarations maintain the quality of keys rather than clubs, unlocking reality through gentle authority rather than attempting to pound it into submission. A confident, sure tone carries more creative force than desperate shouting or strained effort. When you declare, "Money flows through my life with perfect ease and divine timing," the absence of grasping or forcing in your words creates an energetic openness that allows abundance to enter naturally. The hand clenched in desperate effort cannot receive the gift that approaches with open palm. Specific phrases designed to address particular financial situations carry concentrated power when spoken with understanding of their deeper meaning. For employment and income, you might declare, "My perfect work now manifests, and I am abundantly compensated for my joyful service." For debt resolution, every financial obligation is met through divine supply flowing in perfect ways. For general prosperity, I am a clear channel for unlimited abundance, and money circulates through my life, blessing all it touches. Each phrase addresses not only the surface need, but the underlying consciousness that created the apparent limitation. Resistance inevitably arises as you begin practicing conscious declaration, particularly when your current circumstances seem to contradict your affirmations. Your rational mind may protest that you are engaging in self-deception or wishful thinking, while old patterns of thought struggle to maintain their familiar grip on your consciousness. This resistance actually signals that your declarations are working at the deepest levels, disturbing the mental and emotional patterns that have created your current limitations. The key lies in meeting this resistance with the same threefold rhythm you use in declaration itself. Deny its power to define your reality, affirm the truth of your spiritual nature and divine supply, and release the entire struggle to higher intelligence. Consistency transforms occasional sparks of declaration into a steady current of creative force flowing through your consciousness. Rather than attempting to remember dozens of different affirmations, choose a few master statements that resonate deeply with your soul and live with them daily. Return to these chosen declarations morning, noon, and evening. Whisper them during financial transactions and answer every worry with their truth. This consistent repetition is not vain repetition but spiritual irrigation, watering the new field of abundance consciousness until shoots of demonstration break through the soil of your experience. Environmental application extends your declaration practice beyond personal affirmation into the blessing of your physical surroundings. As you organize your financial papers, you are silently declaring your readiness for increased prosperity. When you bless the money that passes through your hands, you maintain its divine quality and ensure its multiplied return. Speaking declarations of abundance over your home, your workplace, and even your financial instruments creates an atmosphere that supports and accelerates your prosperity demonstrations. Written declarations engage additional senses and create physical evidence of your spiritual intention, often accelerating manifestation through the power of the written word. When you inscribe your prosperity affirmations by hand, you are literally writing them into physical reality while simultaneously programming them into your consciousness through the kinesthetic engagement of writing. Many practitioners find that maintaining a declaration journal, where they write their abundance affirmations each morning, creates remarkable acceleration in their financial demonstrations. The practice of grateful declaration acknowledges abundance already present while calling forth its expansion, combining appreciation with expectation in a powerful formula for continued prosperity. Rather than focusing on apparent lack, these affirmations celebrate every demonstration of supply while expecting continued blessing. I am deeply grateful for the money that flows through my life, and I joyfully expect this flow to increase in perfect ways. This approach maintains your consciousness in the frequency of abundance rather than the frequency of need. Challenge-based declarations transform apparent financial difficulties into opportunities for powerful spiritual demonstration. When unexpected expenses arise, instead of lamenting your situation, you boldly declare, "Divine supply now provides for this need, and all my requirements abundantly." When income seems insufficient, you affirm, "My resources are unlimited because I draw from infinite supply." These declarations do not deny to the appearance of challenge, but assert the greater truth of spiritual provision that transcends all material limitation. Group declarations create exponential power when individuals unite their voices in common purpose, generating what might be termed spiritual amplification effects. When two or more people join in declaring prosperity principles together, they create a collective field of abundance consciousness that benefits everyone within its influence while accelerating individual demonstrations. Your personal declarations contribute to this larger field, while drawing support from the combined faith and intention of others who share your understanding. The ultimate power of conscious declaration lies in its capacity to align your individual will with universal will, your personal desires with cosmic purpose for the blessing of all life. When your spoken word serves not only your own prosperity but the greater circulation of good throughout the world, it carries the full authority of spiritual law behind it. This alignment transforms you from someone attempting to manipulate circumstances into someone consciously cooperating with the divine plan for abundance that includes every person and blesses every life it touches. The invisible architecture of financial limitation resides not in external circumstances, market conditions, or material constraints, but within the hidden chambers of your subconscious mind, where ancient patterns of thought and feeling operate with the stealth and precision of an unseen master puppeteer. These subconscious money blocks represent the most formidable obstacles to sustained prosperity, silently directing your financial reality while remaining completely below the threshold of conscious awareness. While your surface mind may earnestly desire abundance and speak words of prosperity, these deeper programs continue broadcasting signals of limitation, unworthiness, fear, and resistance, creating an internal contradiction that manifests as perpetual financial struggle despite your most sincere, conscious efforts. Understanding the true nature of these blocks reveals why positive thinking alone rarely creates lasting financial transformation. Your subconscious mind, which governs approximately 90% of your mental activity, functions like fertile soil that accepts and nurtures whatever seeds are planted within it, making no distinction between beneficial and harmful beliefs. This deeper level of consciousness simply accepts whatever has been impressed upon it with sufficient emotion and repetition, then works tirelessly to create external experiences that perfectly match these internal patterns. When money is understood as divine energy in motion, these subconscious blocks become clear impediments to its natural flow, acting like energetic dams that create stagnation and turbulence in what should be a smooth, effortless circulation of abundance. The formation of money blocks typically begins during your most impressionable years, when your developing consciousness absorbed countless messages about money, wealth, and financial security from parents, relatives, teachers, religious leaders, and society at large. These early impressions, received when your critical thinking faculties were undeveloped, became embedded in your subconscious as absolute truths about financial reality. A parent's worried exclamation that money doesn't grow on trees, repeated observations of financial struggle and anxiety, or religious teachings that created false dichotomies between spiritual virtue and material abundance, all contributed to the invisible ceiling that now limits your financial potential decades later. Family patterns and ancestral programming represent particularly profound sources of subconscious limitation, as financial struggles and scarcity consciousness often pass from generation to generation like invisible heirlooms. Your ancestors who survived economic depressions, wars, famines, or other periods of extreme scarcity developed powerful survival mechanisms that helped them endure those challenging times. However, these same protective patterns, encoded in your cellular memory and family consciousness, may now act as barriers preventing you from experiencing the abundance that is your natural birthright under current circumstances. The subconscious mind, in its desire to keep you safe, continues operating according to outdated programming that no longer serves your highest good. Religious and cultural conditioning often contributes some of the most persistent money blocks through teachings that create internal conflicts between spiritual aspirations and material prosperity. Messages suggesting that poverty equals holiness, that money is inherently corrupting, or that wealthy people are necessarily greedy or unspiritual, generate what can only be described as energetic static, preventing clear reception of the abundance that constantly seeks to flow into your life. These conflicting programs create a double bind where desiring money feels spiritually wrong, yet lacking money creates practical suffering, trapping you in a cycle of limitation that seems to have no resolution. The emotional component of money blocks often proves more influential than purely mental aspects, as emotions carry tremendous creative power in the realm of manifestation. Fear, shame, guilt, anger, and resentment around money create energetic disturbances that repel the very prosperity you consciously desire. Perhaps you feel guilty about wanting more when others have less, ashamed of past financial mistakes, fearful of losing what you have, angry at others who seem to prosper effortlessly, or resentful about having to work for money. Each of these emotional charges creates a corresponding vibration that the universe reads as precise instructions for your financial experience. Identifying your specific money blocks requires honest self-examination and willingness to observe your automatic thoughts, emotional reactions, and behavioral patterns around financial matters without harsh judgment. Notice what thoughts arise when you consider asking for a raise, starting a business, or investing money. Observe your emotional responses when paying bills, making large purchases, or witnessing others' financial success. Pay attention to the stories you automatically tell yourself about why you cannot have more money, why prosperity is difficult to achieve, or why you do not deserve financial abundance. These automatic responses reveal the hidden programs that are silently shaping your financial reality with mathematical precision. Physical symptoms often accompany deep-seated money blocks, as emotional and mental patterns create corresponding tensions in the body that serve as faithful messengers, alerting you to internal resistances requiring conscious attention. Chronic tightness in the chest when thinking about money, stomach knots during financial discussions, shoulder tension when paying bills, or headaches when contemplating financial decisions all indicate areas where limiting beliefs have created energetic blockages that interfere with the natural flow of prosperity through your experience. The spiritual approach to dissolving these blocks follows a precise three-step process that mirrors the fundamental rhythm of all spiritual demonstration. First comes denial, which is not argument with appearances, but withdrawal of belief and attention from limiting conditions. When faced with evidence of a money block, you might declare, "This apparent limitation has no power over my divine supply." I withdraw all belief from scarcity and recognize infinite abundance as my true source. This denial breaks the hypnotic hold of false programming, creating space for truth to establish itself in your consciousness. Next comes affirmation, which installs the desired condition in the vacuum created by denial. Having released belief from limitation, you now declare with conviction, "I am one with infinite abundance. Money flows to me through expected and unexpected channels under grace, in perfect ways." This affirmation must be spoken with feeling rather than mere mental repetition, as the subconscious responds to the emotional quality of your declarations rather than their intellectual content. The new programming must be impressed upon your deeper mind with the same emotional intensity that created the original limiting patterns. Finally comes release, which places the entire matter in the hands of infinite intelligence while maintaining your consciousness in a state of expectant faith. I cast this burden of financial limitation on the divine within me and go free to receive my perfect demonstration. This release prevents the anxious mental effort that actually interferes with manifestation, allowing universal law to work through you rather than being blocked by your personal will, trying to force specific outcomes. Forgiveness emerges as one of the most powerful tools for dissolving money blocks, particularly those rooted in past financial trauma, family patterns, or negative experiences with money. This forgiveness is not condoning harmful behavior, but releasing the energetic charge that keeps you trapped in limitation. Forgiving yourself for past financial mistakes releases the guilt and shame that block future prosperity. Forgiving others who may have hurt you financially dissolves the resentment that creates energetic barriers to abundance. Forgiving your parents or ancestors for their financial limitations frees you from inherited patterns of scarcity while honoring their courage and sacrifice. Common money blocks manifest in predictable patterns that can be addressed through specific affirmations tailored to each limitation. The belief that money is evil or money corrupts often stems from religious or moral teachings and can be dissolved through recognition that money is divine energy, a tool for blessing and good. I am a spiritual being who uses money wisely for the highest good of all. The deep feeling of unworthiness expressed as "I don't deserve wealth" responds to affirmations of inherent divine value. I am a beloved child of the infinite, worthy of all good. My worth is not tied to accomplishments but to my divine nature, and I joyfully accept my inheritance of abundance. The pattern of financial instability, reflected in beliefs like "money always slips through my fingers," requires affirmations of wise stewardship. I am a wise and discerning steward of divine abundance. Money flows into my life and circulates freely, always returning to me multiplied. The spiritual conflict expressed as "it's selfish to want money" needs reframing through service. Money is a tool for good, allowing me to be of greater service and to bless others. My prosperity creates blessings for all life. The struggle mentality, embedded in thoughts like "money is hard to come by," transforms through affirmations of ease. Divine abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly through perfect channels. I attract prosperity with grace and joy. Fear of the responsibility that comes with wealth responds to declarations of capability. I am perfectly capable of managing and stewarding great wealth with wisdom, joy, and ease. My prosperity brings freedom and expansion, not burden. Advanced techniques for deep clearing work with the vibrational frequencies that support money blocks, often creating rapid shifts that purely mental approaches cannot achieve. Somatic approaches recognize that money blocks often lodge in the physical body as areas of tension, constriction, or numbness, requiring breathwork, movement, and body awareness to release stored patterns. You might practice breathing deeply into areas of tension while thinking about money, or engage in movement exercises that help you embody the feeling of financial expansion and flow. Environmental clearing extends the healing process into your physical surroundings by removing objects, organizing spaces, and creating atmospheres that support abundance consciousness rather than limitation. Clearing clutter from financial files, organizing money-related documents with dignity and respect, and creating beautiful spaces for handling financial matters all contribute to dissolving the energetic patterns that support scarcity while establishing new patterns that welcome prosperity. Ancestral healing addresses the generational components of money blocks through conscious choice to break cycles of financial struggle while honoring the courage and sacrifice of previous generations. This work might involve lighting a candle and speaking aloud, "Beloved ancestors, I thank you for your courage and release all patterns of struggle while carrying forward only wisdom. Our family line prospers now." Such ceremony comforts the subconscious by marking the completion of old chapters and the beginning of new financial lines. Stories. Pattern interruption involves consciously breaking the automatic sequences of thought, emotion, and behavior that perpetuate financial limitation through immediate replacement with abundance-focused responses. When worry about money arises, immediately shift to gratitude for current blessings. When fear emerges around financial decisions, deliberately choose thoughts of trust and divine provision. When old stories of limitation begin playing in your mind, consciously replace them with affirmations of abundance. This practice gradually weakens neural pathways, supporting scarcity consciousness while strengthening new pathways aligned with prosperity. Consistency in applying these dissolution techniques proves essential, as subconscious patterns deeply ingrained over years or decades require persistent, loving, and firm effort to transform completely. Just as a river carves a new channel through consistent flow over time, your repeated declarations and practices carve new grooves of abundance, consciousness in your mind. Each aligned day removes another layer of limitation, and one morning you discover that bills open with ease, prices quote without tremor, and opportunities accept without delay, signaling that your subconscious has transformed from a frightened gatekeeper into a faithful steward of your divine inheritance. The transformation of consciousness into demonstration requires far more than occasional moments of inspiration or sporadic attempts at positive thinking. True prosperity consciousness emerges through the sacred discipline of integrating spiritual principles into every fiber of your daily existence, weaving abundance awareness so thoroughly into your routine that each moment becomes a golden doorway through which extraordinary provision enters your experience. This practical application transforms abstract spiritual concepts into living, breathing reality through consistent actions, thoughts, and declarations that honor the divine nature of supply, while systematically dissolving the invisible barriers that have previously limited your financial flow. The Dawn Foundation, Morning Activation Practices. Your daily abundance practice begins before your feet touch the floor. In those precious moments when your consciousness emerges from sleep and exists in its most receptive state, free from the accumulated mental chatter and external influences that typically cloud awareness throughout the day. This sacred window provides the ideal opportunity to establish your energetic blueprint for prosperity, setting the vibrational tone that will attract or repel financial opportunities for the hours ahead. Rather than immediately reaching for your phone or allowing worry about the day's obligations to infiltrate your thoughts, you consciously choose to align with the wealth code that transforms your relationship with money from struggle to flow. Place your hand upon your heart and speak with gentle authority, either aloud or silently. I am a clear channel for divine abundance. Money flows through my life easily and continuously, bringing blessing to myself and all I encounter. Flow through. Feel these words resonating in every cell of your being, visualizing golden light streaming through your body, your home, your workplace, and every area of your financial life. This morning declaration must be spoken with the authority of one who recognizes their divine nature and birthright to prosperity, not as a beggar pleading with an unwilling universe. Linger in the feeling of relief, as if a tight knot has loosened within your chest. Imagine yourself as a beautiful, clear riverbank through which the mighty current of abundance flows, nourishing and enriching everything it touches. If worries appear, do not wrestle with them. Simply cast them upon the divine within. I cast this burden of finance on the infinite intelligence within me, and I go free to receive my perfect supply. Transaction transformation, sacred exchange practices. Every financial interaction throughout your day becomes a ceremonial opportunity to maintain alignment with abundance consciousness rather than falling into unconscious patterns of worry, resentment, or fear that characterize most people's relationship with money. When you purchase your morning coffee, pay a bill, or transfer funds, you are not merely conducting business, but participating in the divine circulation of energy made manifest as currency. Before any transaction, pause briefly and whisper flow through, feeling your chest soften, shoulders release, and breath deepen. As money leaves your possession, whether through cash, card, or digital transfer, visualize it going forth to bless workers, families, and services, then returning to you through wider channels, multiplied and magnified. This practice transforms what could be an unconscious drain on your energy into conscious participation in the circulation of divine substance. When paying bills, create a small altar of order. Arrange a clear table, place a glass of water nearby, and take a quiet breath before beginning. Place your hand upon each bill and bless it as evidence of the abundant life you enjoy, declaring, "I bless this obligation. It is dissolved in divine order. Money flows to me multiplied, and all parties are satisfied under grace." You may inscribe, "Paid in full by divine substance" in your ledger as a declaration of higher law, then proceed to pay what is appropriate now, in perfect peace. Receiving money requires equal consciousness and gratitude. When your salary arrives, when payment reaches your account, or when unexpected funds appear, consciously declare "flow through" while feeling genuine appreciation. Say internally, "I welcome this flow. I am a faithful steward. Thank you for finding me easily and often." This prevents the grasping mentality that blocks further supply while maintaining the dynamic quality that allows money to multiply as it moves. Through your experience, workplace, and professional application, your professional environment provides countless opportunities to apply abundance principles, transforming your career from a source of limitation into a channel for increased prosperity. Each morning, ask the golden question, "How may I increase the blessing I deliver today?" Then align your actions with that intention while declaring, "I am abundantly compensated for my joyful service under grace." Before important meetings, presentations, or negotiations, quietly declare "flow through" while visualizing golden light surrounding all participants and blessing the outcomes for everyone involved. This removes competitive, scarcity-based energy and replaces it with collaborative, abundance-focused intention that benefits all parties. When discussing compensation, approach these conversations from consciousness of your value and trust in divine provision rather than desperation or unworthiness. When inspired ideas arrive, honor them immediately, for ideas are angels of supply that land only where they are welcomed. Record them, sketch the first steps, and move your feet in their direction. The universe multiplies seeds that are planted, not merely admired. Practice the law of non-resistance when delays or denials appear, smiling in the face of closed doors while declaring, "This or something better now manifests for me, under grace. I do not push. I permit." Environmental and organizational practices. Your physical environment reflects and reinforces your internal alignment with prosperity, consciousness, making the organization of your financial space a sacred practice rather than mere housekeeping. Your wallet becomes a temple deserving respect and beauty rather than a chaotic collection of crumpled bills and forgotten receipts. Arrange your money with dignity, notes facing the same direction, and remove unnecessary clutter that suggests disregard for divine substance. Create beautiful, organized systems for your financial documents, recognizing that chaos in your money environment perpetuates chaos in your abundance consciousness. Dedicate a special folder or box for important papers, writing the names of your accounts with intention, perhaps seed, circulation, and overflow, so each dollar knows its sacred assignment. When you handle these materials with reverence rather than anxiety, you declare your readiness to steward even greater abundance with wisdom and joy. Establish a weekly circulation hour during which you consciously move money, give some, save some, invest some, enjoy some, Settle obligations. Name each portion as you allocate it. This is seed, this is shelter, this is expansion, this is joy. Money loves clarity and enters where purpose is plain. This practice maintains conscious relationship with your finances while preventing the unconscious accumulation or spending that creates energetic stagnation. Managing challenging financial situations. When unexpected expenses arise or financial challenges appear, these moments become the most powerful opportunities to demonstrate the depth of your commitment to abundance consciousness versus your tendency to revert to old patterns of panic and limitation. Your first response to any financial pressure becomes flow through rather than worry, immediately followed by the declaration, "This is already provided for by divine substance." Reveal the channel now. Meet sudden expenses as honored guests rather than unwelcome thieves. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and declare, "Divine supply now provides for this need and all my requirements abundantly." Then take the next right step, gather information, arrange timelines, request terms, offer value while maintaining your decree. Many have witnessed intimidating invoices shrink, schedules shift, and unexpected credits appear when they refused panic and chose poise. When income seems insufficient or financial security appears threatened, resist the temptation to speak words of lack or limitation. Instead, declare with increased conviction, "My resources are unlimited because I draw from infinite supply." Money flows through my life abundantly through expected and unexpected channels. Transform apparent setbacks into opportunities for the universe to demonstrate its limitless provision through pathways you had not previously. 2007. Considered. Evening integration and review practices. Your day's abundance practice requires conscious completion through evening practices that prepare your subconscious mind to continue alignment work during sleep while reviewing the day's practice. Demonstrations with gratitude and expectation. Rather than falling asleep to programs filled with violence or negativity, consciously choose to end your day with abundance consciousness firmly established in your awareness. Create an evidence ledger to train your perception upon increase rather than lack. Write 3 demonstrations from your day: a discount, received a kind referral, a creative solution, a swift payment, a found coin, or a moment of peace where worry once lived. Give thanks for each as if it represented a 1,000-fold blessing, for gratitude serves as the magnifying glass of supply. This practice gradually retrains your mind to notice abundance in all its forms while building momentum for greater demonstrations. Before sleep, place your hand on your heart and speak, "I sleep in safety. Divine order manages my affairs as I rest. Angels of abundance keep watch through the night, and I awaken to new opportunities and increased supply." This evening blessing often results in morning inspirations, solutions that arrive during sleep, or opportunities that present themselves with remarkable synchronicity. Advanced daily techniques for acceleration. Guard your speech like a precious treasure, speaking only what you wish to harvest in your experience. Institute a 40-day discipline of eliminating all statements of lack from your vocabulary. When old phrases arise, "This is too expensive," "I can't afford it," "Money is tight," replace them instantly with truth. Infinite supply meets every righteous desire under grace, in perfect ways. Practice sudden generosity, guided by quiet intuition, a larger tip than expected, paying for a stranger's coffee, offering an unexpected gift. These unannounced openings unstick hidden places in your abundance channel, and circulation delights in surprise by answering surprise with increased flow. What you bless in another, you invite into your own experience, and it arrives enlarged beyond your conscious expectations. Train your body into the posture of prosperity, shoulders open, spine tall, breath low and slow. Your nervous system serves as the gatekeeper of receptivity, and a calm body signals to the universe that it is safe to increase your supply. Before financial conversations, Place a hand on your belly and breathe until warmth gathers, for decisions made from vesicalis. Warmth prove wise, while those made from tension generate future repair work. Building consistency and momentum. The ultimate power of practical daily application lies in unwavering consistency that transforms sporadic intention into an unbroken magnetic field of prosperity consciousness. Each conscious declaration, grateful thought, and blessed transaction contributes to building powerful momentum that eventually reaches critical mass, producing dramatic shifts in your external financial reality. Keep your wealth code visible throughout your environment, a small card, by your door, on your mirror, near your computer, so every glance becomes a tuning fork, returning you to abundance frequency. Establish daily minimums, 3 conscious flow-through declarations, 3 moments of financial gratitude, and 3 actions that demonstrate your faith in divine provision. Small hinges swing great doors, and 3 faithful steps, repeated daily, move mountains that worry could not budge in years. Remember that this practical application is not burden but joyful partnership with universal law, an ongoing conversation with infinite intelligence, declaring your readiness to participate fully in the endless, generous circulation of divine supply. As you consistently integrate these practices into your daily life, you transform from someone who desires abundance into someone who embodies it, becoming a living demonstration that prosperity flows not to those who chase it, but through those who allow it to move freely, blessing all it touches, while returning multiplied to its faithful steward. The ultimate expression of mastering the wealth code transcends the mere accumulation of material resources and elevates you into the sacred realm of conscious stewardship, where you become a living demonstration of divine order in financial matters. This represents the highest octave of prosperity consciousness, where struggle ceases entirely and is replaced by an effortless flow that mirrors the natural rhythms of the universe itself. To live in divine order is to recognize that your financial affairs are not subject to the chaotic whims of external circumstances, but are governed by spiritual law operating with mathematical precision through your aligned consciousness. Divine order reveals itself as the perfect orchestration of timing, people, opportunities, and resources that unfolds when you release the desperate need to control outcomes and instead learn the sacred art of non-resistance. This is not passive resignation but active cooperation with infinite intelligence, which sees far beyond your limited perspective and arranges circumstances with a wisdom that surpasses human understanding. When you attempt to force financial solutions through anxious effort and desperate manipulation, you create resistance that actually delays your good. When you learn to cast your burden upon the divine within you and proceed in peaceful expectation, you align with the cosmic current that carries all supply to its perfect destination. The practice of casting the burden represents one of the most powerful techniques available for dissolving financial anxiety and opening channels for miraculous provision. When worry arises about bills, when fear grips you regarding future security, when desperation tempts you toward hasty decisions, you immediately place your hand upon your heart and declare with quiet authority, "I cast this burden of financial concern upon the divine within me, and I go free to receive my perfect supply." This is not mere positive thinking, but a legal transaction in spiritual law, transferring your case from the limited court of human reasoning to the supreme tribunal of infinite wisdom, where all verdicts favor your highest good. Non-resistance becomes your natural state when you truly understand that what belongs to you by divine right cannot be withheld by any external force, while what is not yours cannot be obtained through struggle without creating karmic debt that requires eventual rebalancing. This profound knowing allows you to approach every financial situation with serene confidence, knowing that if one door closes, a better one must open. If one opportunity delays, a superior one is being prepared. If one channel seems blocked, multiple new pathways are being cleared for your blessing. As you mature into conscious stewardship, your entire relationship with money undergoes a fundamental transformation from ownership to guardianship. You recognize that you are not the ultimate possessor of the funds that flow through your experience, but rather a trusted steward appointed by divine intelligence to direct these resources wisely for the blessing of all life. This shift in perspective removes the fearful grasping that actually repels money and replaces it with the open-handed confidence that magnetizes continued abundance. A steward does not hoard or clutch, but circulates with wisdom, knowing that what flows out, with blessing returns multiplied through channels, both expected and miraculous. Joy emerges as the natural fragrance of this elevated consciousness, replacing the struggle and resentment that characterize most people's relationship with money. You discover joy in paying bills, recognizing each payment as evidence of the abundant life you enjoy and as a blessing sent forth to support others in their service. You find joy in making purchases, knowing that you are participating in the divine circulation of energy and value. You experience joy in receiving money, understanding that you are a worthy channel through which universal abundance flows to accomplish its perfect work in the world. The quality of effortless effort begins to characterize your financial endeavors as you learn to move with divine timing rather than against it. This does not mean inaction or laziness, but rather inspired action that flows from inner guidance rather than outer pressure. Your work becomes play, your service becomes joy, and your financial growth feels like a natural unfolding rather than a desperate climb up an impossible mountain. You learn to recognize the difference between the strained pushing of the ego and the graceful flow of aligned action, choosing always to move when the inner signal is green and to wait when wisdom counsels patience. Intuition develops into your most trusted financial advisor as you cultivate the inner stillness necessary to hear the voice of infinite intelligence speaking through your consciousness. This inner guidance leads you to perfect investments, ideal opportunities, beneficial partnerships, and wise decisions with an accuracy that surpasses all external analysis. You learn to distinguish between the clamoring voices of fear, greed, and social pressure, and the quiet certainty of spiritual knowing that always guides you toward your highest good and the blessing of all concerned. Gratitude becomes your constant companion and most powerful prosperity magnet, creating an energetic field that attracts continuous reasons for thanksgiving. You are grateful, not only for what you have, but for what is on its way, not only for obvious blessings, but for disguised gifts, not only for comfortable circumstances, but for challenges that strengthen your faith and deepen your reliance on divine supply. This pervasive appreciation elevates your consciousness to frequencies where abundance is not something you chase, but something you naturally attract simply by being who you truly are. The practice of blessing transforms every financial interaction into a sacred ceremony that maintains the divine quality of money and ensures its multiplied return. Before spending, you bless the money for the good it will accomplish. Before receiving, you bless yourself as a worthy channel. Before making financial decisions, you bless all parties involved and the outcomes that serve everyone's highest good. This blessing consciousness creates an atmosphere where money delights to dwell and multiply, knowing it will be used with wisdom, reverence, and love. Your personal prosperity becomes inseparably linked to the prosperity of others as you recognize the fundamental interconnectedness of all life and the truth that there is more than enough for everyone when consciousness is properly aligned. You actively seek ways for your abundance to contribute to the greater good, knowing that as you lift others, you are inevitably lifted yourself. Your success becomes a blessing to your community, your prosperity becomes a demonstration of what is possible for all, and your joy becomes a gift that enriches every life you touch. Service provides the royal pathway through which divine abundance flows most freely, as you discover that money gravitates naturally toward usefulness and value creation. Each day you ask the golden question, "How may I be of greater service today?" Then you align your actions with that intention while maintaining your declaration that you are abundantly compensated for your joyful contribution. This service-centered approach removes all sense of strain or competition from your financial life and replaces it with the satisfying knowledge that your prosperity serves the greater good. When challenges arise, as they occasionally must in any human experience, you meet them not with panic but with poise, knowing that every apparent obstacle is actually a divine redirection towards something better. You have learned to trust the process completely, understanding that delays often prevent disasters, denials often precede promotions, and apparent setbacks often set up comebacks that exceed your wildest dreams. Your faith has been tested and proven, your trust has been rewarded repeatedly, and your confidence in divine provision has become unshakable. Living in divine order means recognizing that your security rests not in accumulated possessions or external conditions, but in your unbreakable connection to the infinite source of all supply. This spiritual security frees you from the tyranny of fear and allows you to live with an open heart, generous spirit, and adventurous willingness to follow divine guidance wherever it may lead. You know that you are always supported, always provided for, and always guided, regardless of appearances, because you have proven this truth through consistent demonstration. The consciousness of conscious stewardship ultimately transforms you into a perpetual receiver, someone who attracts abundance not through desperate effort but through aligned being. You become a magnet for good, drawing to you all that is necessary for your joy, expansion, and service to others. The universe delights in responding to such a consciousness, someone who understands the sacred nature of money, honors its divine flow, and uses it as a powerful instrument for blessing and creation. Your life becomes a living testament to the truth that when you align with universal law, all good things are added unto you, effortlessly, continuously, and in ways that exceed your highest expectations while serving the greatest good of all.